Hi students, in today's session we are going to discuss about the second business service, that is insurance. We already discussed about banking, right, where the financial assistance is given to the business persons, and next one is insurance. It is nothing but a contract or agreement between two persons. Here those two persons are nothing but insurance company and the persons who taking insurance policies from that companies. Then why we need insurance? Why we have to do insurance policies for our products? Simply because the businessman investing his amounts in the business by way of products. He getting the financial assistance from the financial institutions, and those amount is invested in the manufacturing of the product. Here he will get back his investment when the products are sold to the customer. So it is not possible to sold entire stock in single day. It will take so many time, and sometimes we have to store certain products in the warehouses because some of the products are produced throughout the year, but the demand for such products may arises in seasonal time. Like that, some of the raw materials are available at seasonal time, but we are using those products in the entire year. For causes of this, what the business person is doing that he arrange all those factors at the prior to the production, and he keeps on moving those raw materials to produce the products. Here he investing all his amounts in the product or the manufacturing of the product. He will get back when the selling activity is happens. Till now he just wait for the right time. Here there is a problem that those products or those raw materials may expose it to certain risk. For example, we kept those products in a warehouse. Because of short circuit, the warehouse may burn. What happens if the warehouse burnt? The products that are put in that particular warehouse may get also destroyed. What happens? The businessman get a huge loss. It is one of the big risk for the business persons, because by thinking about that risk factor which is uncertain, it may be happens or may not happens, but with having the tension, he cannot focus on the other activities. To avoid such risk or to avoid such type of loss for the products, the businessmen are interested to take insurance policies from the companies. There are several companies which providing insurance policies to the business persons. There are different kinds of insurance policies are available, even for life insurance policies, or there is non-life insurance policies. Particularly businessman takes for non-life insurance policies like fire insurance and marine insurance. Hence, then what is an insurance is? Insurance is nothing but it is a contract or agreement between two parties. It is a contract or agreement between two parties in which one party in consideration wants to pay certain amount if the particular loss is occurred. Simply saying that we are entering into a contract with a insurance company. Here we have to pay certain amount as a premium to the insurance company. By taking that premium, what insurance company assures us that if you get such type of risk, if you get such type of loss which is mentioned in the policy, then we will repay the loss which you are faced. It is the agreement between the two parties of the insurance. Nowadays, the insurance playing a prominent role in the business. If we know that future is uncertain. If the risk may arises or it may not be arises. But by taking an insurance policy, the businessman can focus on other activities of the business without the fear of losing that products as an accident, as in the form of accidents. Right. So, there are particularly some terms which are used in insurance. So, we have to know that terms. The first one is terms that are used in insurance. Terms that are used in insurance. The first one is insurer. The first one is insurer. Here, to enter into a insurance contract, we required two parties. The first party is insurer. Here, insurer means the company which provides the insurance policy. Insurer means companies which provides insurance policy is called as insurers. Is called as insurer. And the second term is insured. Insured or assured. Insured or assured. The person who is taking the insurance policy, who is seeking the protection from the insurance company, is called as insured. The person who is seeking protection, from the insurance company is called as insured or assured. Okay, and the next term is policy. Policy, it is the official document which contains the terms, rules and regulations of that particular insurance. It is an official document. Official document which is given by insurer to insured, which have the details regarding that particular policy or the particular contract. And next one is premium. It is the amount which the insured has to pay for the insurer. Okay, so premium is the amount which is paid by the insured to insurer. The person who is giving the protection against risk is called as insurer, where the person who is seeking protection from the risk is called as insured. Insured paying premium to insurer. Okay, and next one is sum assured. Sum assured, and it is the face value of the policy. It is the face value of the policy. Okay, for example, we are paying the premium of 2500 periodically, either monthly or yearly or 6 months at once. We are paying premium to the insurers, whereas the face value of the policy is 1 lakh. The face value of the policy is 1 lakh, which is called as the contract value, which is also known as sum assured in the policy. Okay, and the next one is insurance contract. Insurance contract. It is between the insurer and insured, which have the details regarding all the elements like who is insured and what is his address and what kind of protection that he is seeking from which type of accidents, either it is fire or it belongs to marine, or what is the amount that the insured have to pay as a premium, and what is the face value of the that particular policy. All these elements are recorded in insurance contracts. So, these are the different terms that are used in the insurance contracts or the insurance policies. Once again, the first one, insurer. Insurer gives the protection against the probable risk. Nothing but they are all companies which provides the insurance policies. Here, insured, he is the person who is seeking protection from certain risk from the insurers. They are seeking protection from happening a future uncertain event. That event may happens or may not happens, but he is seeking protection, right? And next one, policy. It is an official document which is given by insurer to insured. And premium, it is the amount which is paid by the insured to insurer on periodical basis. And sum assured, it is the face value of the policy. Then the last one is insurance contracts, which have the terms and conditions regarding insurance policies. Okay, these are the terms that are used in insurance contracts or the insurance. Then what are the functions of insurance? What are the functions of insurance? Functions of insurance. The first one is providing certainty. Providing certainty. We know that future is uncertain. The loss may arise. It all depends upon the uncertain events. If the loss arises, the businessman suffers that loss. So, here if the businessman is taken the insurance policy, then they feel that the risk or the loss which is arises out of from such transactions may compensated by the insurance companies, may compensated by the insurance companies. They may think in that way. There is uncertain events becomes the certain in the insurance companies. Okay, next one is risk sharing. Risk sharing. Here the risk which is arises out of the transactions, which is arising out of the different events, are distributed among the persons who are facing that. For example, there are three business persons X, Y, Z, and all of three are paying, taking an insurance policy and paying premium. Then here the risk is happened to Y. Then from these premiums we are paying compensation for the Y. Here risk sharing will happen. And next one is protection. Protection. Insurance is giving protection from the losses that may arise in future. One thing we have to remember that insurance cannot avoid the happening of an uncertain event, or it cannot eliminate the risk factor, but it gives the protection for happening of risk. If you arise risk, if you are facing the risk, it gives the protection, it gives the compensation to minimize the risk. Here the insurance will not eliminate the entire risk, it minimizes the risk factor. And assist in capital formation. Assist in capital formation. Insurance assists in capital formation for different companies. How? Simply like number of persons are taking policies like insurance policies. Number of persons are paying premium towards the insurers. Those premiums, those collected premiums are invested in the developing businesses or developed business, which gives the maximum returns for them. Here what happens? The insurance company collecting various premium from different persons, the entire amount is invested in different sectors of the economy. By investing that, they are getting the returns. Those are distributed to the persons who taken that insurance policies if may they faces the risk, if may they arise the risk. Okay, so insurance will assist in the capital formation. These are the 4 functions that are performed by insurance. The first one is providing certainty. Future is uncertain. That uncertain events may gives you the risk factor. Those factor is becomes certain by the insurance. And risk sharing. The risk will be shared among all the persons who has taken similar insurance policies. And protection. It will not eliminate the risk, it gives the protection to the persons who taken the insurance policy. And it assists in capital formation. The premiums that are collected by the insurance companies are invested in different sectors of the economy. Okay, in the way of doing that, it gives the capital formation for the several developing and developed countries. Okay, and the next topic is even the insurance companies are allowed to invest in foreign companies also. That's why I am saying that developed countries and developing countries. Okay, and what are the principles of insurance? What are the principles of insurance? It is one of the important concept. The principles of insurance. We know that insurance is a contract or agreement. To form a contract or to get into a contract, we have certain rules. We have certain procedures. We have to complete that. Right. So, what are the normal contract requirements that are applicable for the insurance contracts even? To enter into a contract, here there must be 2 parties. To enter into a contract, there must be 2 parties. Okay, here one party may make proposal. One party may make proposal and another party has to give acceptance. Okay, so first concept regarding contracts is there must be two parties and one party has to give proposal to other party and other party has to accept that proposal. And next one is free consent. Free consent. Here consent means acceptance. That acceptance is free from coercion, misrepresentation, fraud, mistake. Coercion, if there is a coercion, misrepresentation, fraud and it is not considered as a valid contract. The person who wants to take insurance policy, they have to come forward with a free consent. They are not forced by others. If there is any force activities are there, then we cannot consider it as a contract. So, free consent of the parties is required to enter into a insurance contract. And capacity of parties. Capacity of parties. We said that to enter into a contract, there must be two parties. That two parties have the eligibility to enter into a contract. Because there are some persons, if we are doing contract with that persons, that is not considered as a contract. There are certain rules regarding the capacity of the parties. We have to enter into a contract with majors. We know the major is who completed his 18 years of age is called as a major. And persons of sound mind. Persons of sound mind. And persons not disqualified. Persons not disqualified by any law. We have to consider these elements when we are entering into an insurance contract with others, right? So, that person may be of majority age, which means he completed his 18 years of age. And next one, persons of sound mind. He can know what is good and bad. If the person is not of sound mind, like idiots, drunken persons, so those people are like persons of unsound mind. So, when we are entering into a contract, the insurers check that those persons are of sound mind or not. And persons not disqualified by any law. According to certain laws, some persons are disqualified to enter into a contract. For example, insolvents. We know about insolvent. The person who has the liabilities more than his assets is called as insolvent. After completion of all the insolvency activity, then they are eligible to enter into a contract. Till that time, they are not eligible to enter into a contract. So, those persons are not, those are disqualified by law to enter into a contract. So, we have to check the capacity of the parties. And consideration. Consideration. It is one of the criteria for the contract. Here we have two parties to enter into a contract. Those two parties have to get the consideration. In the insurance, there are two parties, insurer and insured. Insured is paying premium. Insured is paying premium. Insurer giving protection from risk. If the risk arises, they may compensate the insured with the policy amount. Here both the parties are getting consideration. Okay, and lawful object. The object to enter into a contract is of lawful in nature. Unlawful objects are to be avoided. These are the general contract characteristics. which the insurance contract have also possessed this. The first one is there must be two parties. One party has to make proposal and other party has to accept that proposal, and that acceptance should be in the free consent, like it is free from coercion, misrepresentation and fraud. Capacity of the parties: the persons who are measures and persons of sound mind and persons not disqualified by law. These are the capacity of the party. The first one is insurable interest. The first one is insurable interest. Okay, here the first principle of insurance is the person who is entering into a contract must have the interest on the subject matter of that contract. For example, the husband has the interest on his own life or his wife's life. If the insurable interest is not there, then the contract is not validated. So, the person who taking the insurance policy have the insurable interest. If those are not there, they may suffer they may feel as a loss. Those kind of feeling is called as the insurable interest. For the business person, the products which are produced and kept in warehouse as a stock, they may have the interest on that particular stock. Like if the stock is sold to the customer, then they get revenue, like this. So, insurable interest must possess in the insurance. It is one of the basic principle. Okay. So, insurable interest is to be in the insurance contracts. And next one, utmost good faith. Utmost good faith. In the insurance policies, the persons or the two parties who is an insurer and who is insured, both the parties have to behave like they have utmost good faith on each other. Here, utmost good faith occurs when the contract details are discussed with both of them, which means if there is a material facts that are to be disclosed to the insured by insurer. If there is any fraud, if there is any misrepresentation happens in that particular segment, then what happens? The insurer, depending upon the insurer's description, insured may enter into a contract. Here there arises a problem of lack of utmost good faith among those parties. Then the contract is not treated as a valid contract in the eyes of law. So, the insurer, where the policy is undertaken for the first time, then the insurer has to disclose all the material facts that are related to the policy to the insured. Here insurer means the person who is giving the insurance policy or who is providing the security for the risk, and insurer means who is seeking the protection from arising of such an incidents. Okay. And next one is indemnity. Next one is indemnity. Here indemnity is the basic principle of all insurance contract. Of course, indemnity is not applicable for the life insurance policies. It is applicable for the non-life insurance policies. Here what this principle says that whatever the losses that are indemnified, we will compensate for losses and not more than the actual loss, which means we are compensated for losses and not more than the actual means, which means we are not get the profits from the insurance policies. For example, there is a person X. He taken the policy of 1 lakh. After taking the policy, that products or that goods are met with fire accident. Then the goods are burnt and the loss is of 50,000. Here the insurance company pays only 50,000 to X because here X has to get the actual loss, not more than the actual loss from the insurance companies. That is, I am saying that we are not get profits from the insurance policies. We just compensate the loss which is arised from that particular accident or the incidents. For example, here what I said that he insured for 1 lakh and the 50,000 of the products are got destroyed, then the company has paid 50,000. Then the company is paid 50,000 rupees to the X. Here what happens, another example, X insured their product for 1 lakh and the loss occurred for 1,50,000. Then what happens? How much amount we will get from the insurance company? Right, we will get from the insurance company of 1 lakh only. Of course, the loss is of 1,50,000, but the maximum amount that you can get from the insurance company by way of compensation is only 1 lakh. It is the indemnity principle. Indemnity principle is applicable for all the insurance policies in which the loss arising from those elements are measurable in terms of money. Here X is a businessman and he is taking a non-insurance policy. Then we can measure the loss which is arised in that business in terms of money. But in case of life insurance policies, it is not possible to measure the loss of losing a person in the family. A daughter may lose his father, wife loses his husband. So we cannot measure the loss or the pain suffered by the family members for loss of a person. That's why indemnity principle is not applicable for the life insurance contracts or the life insurance policies. This is what an indemnity principle is. And the next one is proximate cause. The next one is proximate cause. Proximate cause is the word proximate cause is derived from the Latin word that is causa proxima. That is causa proxima, which means the nearest cause or immediate cause, nearest cause or immediate cause. It is suitable for both fire and marine insurance. When it is better for if we consider as a marine insurance. There are several situations or the several causes leads to an accident in the marine insurance. Then we have to consider what is the immediate cause for that accident. What is the immediate cause for losing of the product. So, to calculate that amount, the proximate cause we have to consider. There are several causes compensate for that accident, but we have to consider what is the immediate cause. Then the insurance company has to pay amount to the insured. Okay. And next one is subrogation. Next one is subrogation, which is also known as doctrine of rights substitution. Doctrine of rights substitution. Here this principle is saying that after compensating all the loss or after compensating the loss which is the maximum loss which is in the policy, then the managerial or the ownership rights will pass us through the insured to insurer. The ownership is right passes to the insured to the insurer for remaining part of the product. Consider as an example. For example, there is a person A and he taken the insurance policy of 1 lakh. And those products here he taken as a non-life insurance policy like fire insurance. Then those products are burnt with the fire accident and the total products got destroyed. Here the loss is evaluated for 1 lakh and here XYZ insurance company is there and it gives the 1 lakh as a compensation for A. Here the products that are destroyed may have some scrap values, right? So those scrap values, the right on that scrap value will pass us through the insurance company, which is nothing but XYZ company. Okay, and another situation we are taking that. There is a person B and he take an insurance policy for his building and he rent here the building for bakery items like cake, biscuits, those baking stall is there in that building, that's why he is taking an insurance policy. Here they give as a rent, they give that room for rent to the Z. Here because of Z mistake, those buildings has fired. Here the fire has happened and the policy he taken for 2 lakhs and the loss is assumed as 2 lakhs. Here the company XYZ has paid 2 lakhs to B. Then here XYZ company has the opportunity to file a suit on the Z who is the reason for that fire accident and he can claim those amount from this person, which says as subrogation principle, doctrine of rights substitution. After the payment of the loss or the risk, then the remained scrap value, the ownership on the remained scrap value is passes to the insurers from the insured. Okay, and the next principle is contribution. Next principle is contribution. If a person taking so many policies in different companies regarding one subject matter, if in that case, if the risk arises or if my loss arises because of some of the incidents, then all the insurance companies will contribute to give the compensation. For example, here person C is there and he taken one of the policy from A and another from B, another from D insurance companies. Subject matter is same here. It is not a life insurance policy. You have to remember that it is not a life insurance policy. He is a businessman and he taken a policy for his goods or the products. Here the loss occurs. He taken here for 1 lakh, 1 lakh and 1 lakh. The loss is arised for 30,000. Then what you are thinking? A company pays 30,000, B company pays 30,000, D company pays 30,000? No. Here they can contribute this amount. Here in 30,000, A company pays 10,000 to C, B company pays 10,000 to C and D company pays 10,000 to C. Total they paid 30,000 to C. That's why I am saying we will not get profit from the insurance companies or insurance policies. We have to minimize the risk. Even the insurance company does not eliminate the risk. It minimizes the risk for our organization. But this principle is not applicable for life insurance. Already I told you that the loss of a person for the family members cannot be measured in terms of money. There is no measurements regarding the death of the family member for a family. Okay. So, if it is a LIC policy, if the C dies, then A company has to pay to his nominee. His nominee is like F. A company has to pay 1 lakh to F, B company has to pay 1 lakh and D company has to pay 1 lakh. Total 3 lakhs has to pay if the C is dies. Okay. So, it is one of the principle of insurance, that is contribution. And last principle is mitigation of loss. Mitigation of loss. Here mitigation of loss means minimizing the loss. If the person who is not taken an insurance policy behaves as the same pattern, the person who has taken the insurance policy also behaves. Because if certain person is behaving that I am taking the insurance policy, there will no problem will occur. I don't want to take any precautionary methods to avoid accidents because I have the policy. If my products are filed, definitely the company will pay some amount to me towards the policy. This type of attitude will not followed in the insurance. The person who has not taken the policy has taken several precautionary methods. Those precautionary methods have to be followed by the persons who taken the insurance policy. Right, that is called as mitigation of loss. You have to take those precautionary actions if you don't have the insurance policy. If your negligence is proved, then the insurance company cannot pay a single rupee towards your loss because you are not taken proper care of your product. You simply feeling that the insurance company will compensate for my loss. So, that much of attitude is to be removed. Okay. So, these are the different principles of insurance. Once again, insurable interest. The insured must have insurable interest on the subject matter of the policy and utmost good faith. Both the parties have the utmost good faith regarding the policy. The material facts is to be disclosed between the parties clearly. Fraud and misrepresentation is to be avoided. Indemnity. Here, the indemnity principle is applicable for non-life insurance policies. Okay, LIC policy will not comes under indemnity principle. And proximate cause. The word proximate cause is derived from the causa proxima, which means the nearest or immediate cause. When several causes are reason for the loss, we have to consider the immediate cause. It is applicable in marine insurance. And subrogation, which means doctrine of rights substitution. After payment of the full amount from the insurance company, the ownership values on the scrap will transfer to the insurance companies. Contribution. The company, those offers the insurance policies on the same subject matter, they will contribute their shares towards the insured. And mitigation of loss. The insured has to take the precautionary actions to minimize the loss. Okay, these are the principles of insurance.